So what were you doing for 3 hours when there was no trade? Were you sitting on Facebook? Were you worried? Were you explaining things to clients?
We don't really fall under the trader category, so it didn't affect us too much.
So
we
you
had
didn't have any stocks you wanted to buy today, so you
No, we had a few
saved.
orders that were pending, but we're fairly patient, so we just waited for the market to open up again, and then we did the trades that we needed to do. But from a confidence point of view, it's really not great. You know, South Africa, or the JSE, is supposed to be the gateway to Africa, and we have a lot of foreign investors who come into South Africa and, you know, buy into our stocks. So to have these connectivity issues is not great for confidence. And what is normally, you know, the JSE has a great reputation globally. You know, you don't want to tarnish that reputation.
But it's happening quite often, though, this connectivity issue, or technology issues. I mean, apart from the sentiment game here, how would it affect a person that is very hands-on with regards to trading?
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter I follow a lot of traders, and they can't stop lambasting the JSE, you know. So obviously that affects them big time, especially when there's economic data coming from overseas and they have specific trades that they've set for that data and they can't do it. So it's not great from that perspective.
Not dramatically low volumes today, 9.3 billion rand passing through the market, and we ended the day off in positive territory, which is good because we've been underperforming global bourses. Overall, are you confident that we'll actually continue this upward momentum?
Yeah, interesting, because the markets in New York actually opened lower, so and that didn't affect our market too much. Nice to see us closing in the green. I think we were playing catch up to New York yesterday. Yesterday was an interesting day. The rand actually acted as a bit of a buffer for our markets. You know, we had mentioned that Citigroup were going to include us in their bond index, which pushed the rand up or strengthened the rand dramatically, and that acted as a buffer to our stocks. So our stocks didn't pick up as much as they normally should have. Now that the rand stabilized a bit, we have played catch up to the massive move in the Dow, which was up 1.5% yesterday.
Okay, so let's just touch on, of course, top 40 here behind us. Again, mostly green that we see. Anglo Platinum under pressure, Anglo Gold Ashanti, Impala also under pressure. In fact, Impala is down around 3% there. I know that was something that you guys used to focus on quite extensively, and not so much. Is it time to buy into these platinum stocks? You know,
they are offering a lot of value, and I think platinum as a metal is offering a lot of value. The fact that it trades below gold is still beyond me. I think there's a lot of potential for the industrial uses and as a storage of value. The platinum miners, you know, I'm going to stick to my thesis where it's just so hard to mine. The mining conditions in South Africa are so difficult at the moment. You know, we've got increasing electricity, wages and so on, that I think they're going to fall under the same trap that the gold miners have over the last 10 years or so.
Naspers is one of those stocks that has been performing quite well, and it's again up. It's up over 2%, sitting at 460 rand.
Yeah, I watched this one closely.
It's looking slightly expensive today.
I watched this one closely last year, and it traded between 360 and 400 for ages. So I'm glad to see it's finally popped out of that trend. I think there's been a lot of attention. You know, Facebook's listing soon. A lot of attention with social media. The likes of Apple are doing fantastically. The tech stocks are really doing well. So I think Naspers is finally getting the re-rating that it deserves. I still think it actually offers a lot of value long term. You know, when you sum up the parts of all their businesses, I think there's a lot of potential. And, you know, Tencent again doing well in Hong Kong, and that's obviously a massive underpin for the stock.
So Rio Tinto out with production numbers, BHP Billiton also out with production numbers today. First quarter iron ore and coal production for BHP Billiton is down, and it's pretty much what we heard from Rio Tinto. We're worried about weather disruptions, and also BHP hit by labour disruptions as well. And BHP Billiton has been one of those companies that's also been offering a lot of value. It's trading at 243 rand.
Yeah, the stock's actually up on the news today. The iron ore division did really well on for the 9 months. Yeah. Obviously, this first quarter didn't do so great, and that was predicted. You know, you can't do anything about the weather. Labour issues, you know, that's not great, especially when you look at that they're operating in Australia, and you'd think that, well, it makes you realise that we're not the only country with those kind of problems. But I think in a broader perspective, you know, these are still record numbers for the 9 months in both iron ore and in coal. So good to see from their side. As with regards to the weather, Rio Tinto are the second biggest iron ore producer. So this kind of supply issue is going to affect the price of iron ore as well, which is going to mitigate maybe some of the losses occurred from lack of production.
So retail sales for the month of February, year on year, up 7.2%. Month on month, though, it's down around 2.2%. What is your prognosis on these retailers that are looking so expensive but are loved by foreigners? And I'm trying to still find South African investors that are buying up the retailers? I know you're going to tell me Massmart is your favorite, so go ahead and do that.
Yeah, most South Africans seem quite conservative when it comes to, you know, investing in companies with high PEs. But these guys have been trading, these retailers have been trading on high PEs for how long now? And they carry on improving and they carry on growing their earnings into these share prices. And I still think the South African consumer has a long way to go. I think we underestimate how low the base still is. You know, we've still got a very big informal sector, and that's underestimated, in my opinion, in terms of the actual labor statistics. So I think there's a lot of potential. You know, we've had interest rates low for a while now, and that's starting to show through in consumer spending. And these things do take time. You know, these things take time to take the effect on the economy. We get rates dropped a few, when they do get dropped, people expect immediate results, but we actually are seeing these results come through, which is good to see in terms of retail sales.